Hi YouTube! It's been a long time and I wanted to do a series called the PLAB series, of course. So here we go. First things first, what is PLAB? PLAB is a medical licensing exam taken up by IMGs all throughout the world, and it is for working and training in UK as a doctor and to specialize in something you're interested in. Amongst popular rumors, it is not a residency exam like NEET PG or the USMLE. PLAB has two parts. So PLAB 1 is the MCQ exam, which is a 3-hour test, and PLAB 2 is also a 3.5-hour test, which is a practical based test where you'll have to apply your practical knowledge to clear the exam. Okay, so the next topic is why I took it in UK. I have already put a video on YouTube where I've shown bits and pieces of my PLAB 1 exam and like Oxford and stuff. So the reason behind why I took it in UK is that I actually wanted an earlier slot. I didn't want to wait for the November slot. I was little late in the queue when the mass seat allotments were coming out, and they put me almost in the end of the queue, so I didn't have any options left. I thought I would take it up in February 2023, which is last year, but I had to take it in August, which was the earliest slot that was there for me, and that was in UK, and I had to choose between I think 5 cities. So the only ones we knew were 2. I think we knew Oxford and Newcastle, and my dad said go with Oxford. I'd cleared my IELTS in September, September 2022, and from then on I was looking for some cancelled slots, which I didn't get, unfortunately. But you could search it, you could get it, but you'll have to search pretty much continuously every minute. So yes, that's a tedious process. Okay, so the next step was to get my documents ready. First I booked my round trip flights from Oman Airways, which had a layover in Muscat, and I had to land in Heathrow and then back again. So that costed me about 60k, which is pretty cheap because I booked it almost 8 months before I went. So that I booked it in December and I left in August the next year. So this costed me a pretty less amount. And the next thing was accommodation. So accommodation, I preferred Airbnb over anything else, and it was half an hour from my exam center, which is pretty walkable. Yeah, through the woods, yes. Okay, so that costed me about 30k, which was pretty decent actually. I had a great roommate, shout out. I had a great roommate, and I had a great Airbnb host. He showed me around Oxford, and he's such a sweetheart. The next was to take a visa. I contacted my passport agent for it because I was a little anxious about the visa and I didn't do it myself. He helped me get through this, and it costed me about 15k for the visa, 10k for the actual visa, and 5k for him, I guess. But for me, it was okay, provided I actually get the visa. So I was gonna leave on 2nd of August 2023, and my visa arrived on 27th May, which was just a week before my flight. Made all of us very anxious at home, but thankfully the visa arrived, and I thought I'll use my visa to the fullest. More videos coming up. Okay. So what are these main sources I use for the PLAB preparation? The Holy Grail is obviously PLABable. The next one is PLAB case. So it costed me about I'm not sure of the amount. I'll put a screenshot, and it is pretty more than enough for PLAB one. I'm not sure about the UKMLA ones. I'm gonna update it. I've also put up my own notes from PLABable, PLAB keys, gems, and whatever source I could find on the internet. I try to mix and match and try to make my own notes, and it has helped almost 200 people. So, if you want to get your hands on that, I will leave a I'll leave a link in my description box, so you can check it out. And you can also go to my Instagram handle directly and order from there as well. It's in a post form, so you can just click order, and it's right now it is 199 rupees. I started with 50 rupees, 49 rupees, and now I've increased the price, seeing the amount of response I'm getting. So it probably might increase, so maybe you can just rush. Okay. So I also took two big mocks from PLABable, which costed me 60 pounds. And the main aim was to actually finish reading all of the PLAB key material first and then attempt the PLABable MCQs. You can do it either ways. For me, this is preferable because I want to know something before I actually give a test for it, if it makes sense. So I did try to do PLABable during my internship with my co-interns and my colleagues and PG, and I had a background check already. So for me, I took 2 months to prepare, and I had to come to UK. The preparation time ideally should be 3 to 4 months or 3 to 6 months, depending on how much you're working. And are you sitting, if you're sitting at home, then I think 3 months is enough. If you're working full time, a 9 to 5 job or a rotational shift, then I think you can take about 6 months. It is recommended that you take 6 months because these are quite costly, and you don't want to pay again and again the same amount. It's just that it's not about failing or passing. You just don't want to spend that much money and energy on an exam again. So yeah, more info later. Okay. I left to UK around 10 days before the exam. So my exam was on 8th August 2023, and my flight was on 2nd August 2023. I landed on the same day. I took an early morning flight and arrived by 8 o'clock in London time. So it took me 2 to 3 days to adjust to everything, because it's a new place. Obviously it took some time to adjust, and I'd already packed all my food, and it was all just pour heat and stuff like that. So I didn't actually cook anything much, but I did try to eat healthy and make sandwiches, or some vegetarian. During these 6 days or 7 days, I tried not to cramp anything into my head newly. I just tried to reread the same thing, revise, and use my notes for everything. So I was just kind of actively revising everything. I used to sit in my desk, sometimes in my room. I used to go out, sit in the uh, kitchen area, or sit in the hall. My owner had left me the house and gone, so I had access to the whole house. So I used to sit anywhere, which is great. Okay. What I did on the exam day was that I woke up pretty early. The exam was at 9 o'clock in the morning. I made breakfast. I packed some fruits for the exam. One thing about PLAB 1 exam which is really commendable is that people allow you to take some fruits or snacks or anything with them, but it should be in a plastic container, a clear plastic container. So even though you have the wrapper, you have to take it out and put stuff in that, and you can chew during the exam and eat. I walked to the exam center, and it was a half an hour walk through the woods, and I reached it, and there were already people there who were waiting, and we went in at around 8:30, and half an hour later the exam just started sharp at 9 o'clock. The trick is to actually leave all the confusing MCQs until the end, and give about half an hour time for these kind of questions which are pretty confusing and you're not very sure of the answer. Usually what I used to do is that I used to set my time to 2 hours or 2.5 hours even during the mock. So I used to complete it by 2.5 hours, and I use the other half I used to leave it and check the other questions if not done so. During the mocks, in my mocks I've got usually around 75 to 80 to 83%, and I think that's enough. But ideally you should be aiming for more, but it's fine. So usually the passing score is, I think, below 120. It's usually below 120 out of 180, and you'll have pretty much ample amount of time if you follow this kind of method, if it works for you. If it doesn't work for you, whatever works is fine. One more thing is that just check whether you are marking the same answer for the same question number. For question number 1 in 1, and you've skipped 2 and you've come to 3, but you are marking the answer of 3 in 2 in your answer paper, then things can go terribly wrong. So be aware of that. After the exam, I spoke to some people, and I actually didn't want to talk to anyone, so I just walked back home and I called my parents and called my friends, and I didn't want to see anything in the group regarding any sort of answers, because I'm not that person who checks after I've done an exam. It's done and dusted, because you cannot even reverse anything. So being tensed doesn't get you anything. So what I did was, I asked I had a plan to go to the mall in Oxford, and I asked my roommate about it, and he said the stores are probably going to shut soon. So I just rushed, and yes, they were shutting. So I just walked around and had a chill day and came back by around 9:30, I guess, and had my had my dinner and left to India the next day itself. So I didn't stay back. What I should have done is that I should have gotten a clinical attachment, and I should have arranged for it before my PLAB 1, and should have stayed back here in UK for my clinical attachment, and taken classes for PLAB 2 as well, and completed PLAB 2 and then gone back home. But it was all too much for me. Coming to a new country alone as a single child is pretty tough if you don't have anyone really to look after you, or your relatives staying, and you're staying at a relative's place. It becomes much easier, but for me it was not so. So I had to stay in an Airbnb, and it was really nice staying at Steven's place. Shout out to Steven. He's the best host ever, like ever. Okay. If you do write your PLAB 1 or UK Malay in Oxford, do go to Steven's place. It's the best thing ever. Okay, and it's walkable distance as well, so it's a win-win. And if you have any questions regarding PLAB 1 or PLAB 2 now, okay, you can contact me and leave some comments on YouTube, or I have a new handle now. My old Instagram account got hacked, so I created a new one very recently from February, and it's doing okay. So if you have any questions, you can come on there and ask me, or you can ask down in the comments below, and I'll see if I can answer all of your questions appropriately. And please subscribe, follow, and like and share. See you later.